What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to one of the most exciting unboxings that I've had in a long time. I've been looking forward to this for so long. This is not the unboxing. This is a problem that's going to be solved from this unboxing. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so Monolith tries new things, and I do appreciate that. I bit them in the butt once or twice, but for the most part, I appreciate them just doing new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and then making right by the customer as well. So this is, and I get to finally really open this, as you guys know, or you can probably see, is my Season 2 minis, my pick list. I got like everything. And this, you know, they're dusty. They were on my shelf. My apologies. But then when I moved, I didn't have anywhere to put these, right? They were kind of stacked and they're all separate, right? They're all separate here. And it's great that you're able to kind of pick and choose and get the ones you want or whatever. Though I would say, from my own observations, non-statistic heavy observations, most people just do all-ins, right? That's just what you're gonna get. That's the people that are left on crowdfunding, is crazy people like me getting like everything Batman. Anyway, there's nowhere really to store this, except now there is a storage box. So I'm gonna get this out of the way now. But I am excited. I literally, when I moved, just left them in the bag that I packed them up in. It's like, what else am I gonna? I'm not gonna carry all those individually. That's silly. Dumped them in a bag and carry the bag. It's much easier to lug around. And they're not going everywhere. So it'll be exciting to put those in the box. Ugh, I'll lug it back over. Try not to hit the microphone. Lots of wrapping. Okay, so we got some dice trays here. It's been so long since I've looked at all this. Oh, it's really cool. And we got, oh, this is, come on. I believe, yeah, this is the storage box for Season 2. So it's just mostly an empty box there. And then, another box here. This is the new stuff. And I think there might be, yes. So there should be a little bit more here. We got a dice set there, super cool, the Joker set. We got another dice set here, and it's a Riddler. We got the Batman Who Laughs, super excited for that one. Another dice set here. I don't know which one's which now, I'll have to look. The Hero set. And then a deck of Ways, and another mini. And I think it may finally, maybe be, oh no, there's more. There's more, dear Lord, guys. Another box. I told you this is gonna be a long one. We got another one of these. These are kind of hard to store too. I have one just kind of loose in Season 2. Very heavy box here. But now, that's it. All right, let's take a look at what all we got here. It's a lot, guys. It really is. Oh, this is a vertical. That's interesting. So normally they go like this, right? But nope, this one like that. Love the forward there. That's cool. But again, we'll get into it. I don't want to do too much here. So it does mark if it's like Season 3 or whatever. Here's the stretch goals for Season 3. So we got some minis here. Got some dice sets. There's another mini there. These, this. We got another, the solo and cooperative. Super excited for that. Because I stomped my family, I think our first or 2 game sessions, and they didn't want to play it anymore, so cooperative might work just well. Alright, so it's time for the board game stuff. Chronologically speaking, I am recording this right after recording the RPG side of things. It's way too much stuff, so I'm going to split into 2 videos, so if you are interested in the RPG side of stuff, check out that video. If it's posted, I'll link to it. If not, subscribe to stay tuned for it. And of course, subscribe for any more cool unboxings, reviews, news, topics, all that sort of stuff. I've been doing it for years, love doing it. Happy to help provide good content for you guys. Let's go ahead and start. Just what's on top of the stack here. In which case, this stuff. Again, appreciate the easy to open. Even then, it even has like a hole to make sure it doesn't like play with air. Appreciate that. So that other way somewhat as much as possible. All right. And then here we have just some basic information on it here. And it looks like a little tuck, just like the stuff before. Again, I appreciate the thematic nature of this, though, unless you fit this into the rest of the boxes, it's a bit extra. And then otherwise, you're kind of throwing it out, which kind of feels bad. But this is a New Eden, 21 villain sheets, 16 cards, and 2 booklets. So very cool. The 2 booklets, I think, are just English and then French. So this one you don't need. Now, often what I've seen people do is, again, not to waste this, is you can obviously recycle it, but you can also get some cool art out of it that you can kind of often print out, especially if they have like a whole page thing. Even something like that could be kind of cool. But I've seen people frame it or take it out or, whatever to kind of make it look nice. But for the most part, there's not a lot of fluff in this one, which also means there's less waste, which is good too. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the actual one I can read. I like these little campaigns that you can do. That's always fun. Very straightforward. Here's, your supervillain equipment that you're going to be able to go through. Here's your supervillain powers. And then you just get started going through it. So, very cool to see. I like that. How many were in here? How many missions? Missions. Introduction, wintering, weed killer, watering, world domination. So, quite a few. And then a conclusion on top of that. Okay. Then we have the different boards in here. This is kind of interesting. How does this... You just kind of have to like tear it open. All right, let's do it. Interesting. I don't know how they pick necessarily what does, how do you decide that's the packaging you want? I don't know. I don't know the solution to that. A few cards here. We'll take a quick look at them. And then lots of boards. So you have even more hero style playing boards for your villain characters, which is fun. Okay. Zoom in so you have to see what the heck I'm looking at. There we go. Same card quality, I would say, as the main game. Really nice, crisp cardstock, and it's not like you're like holding a hand, so you're not going to cup them too much. So for the most part, you just have them laying flat. So I think they work fine. Yeah, I like all this different stuff. Interesting that the seat has like nothing there, but again, it looks very thematic for kind of the scanner view that they have of it. Images and pictures are fairly big, so you can tell what you're looking at, even like a scythe or something like that. So that works. Otherwise, it's all standard stuff you would expect. Same with these. Again, you get a whole bunch of these. I'm not too interested in looking at every single one. But as you can see, they do have that. And they're doing the same thing where it's literally the miniature render painted is the art style they did. Some people liked it, some people didn't. It kind of depends. There's pros and cons to it. One of the pros that I think a lot of people don't necessarily appreciate when you do right, but they do notice when you do it wrong. And that's when it comes to getting approval for your art. Obviously, it's a lot easier to get all of this approval if it's not a whole bunch of different images. So if you're using comic art, if you're using the miniature renders that have already been approved, then the approval process won't bog it down. That happened with Street Fighter, for instance, way back in the day. And it caused a lot of issues, right? Because it just took forever to get everything approved. Because, this isn't quite right. And, you got to change this and got to change that and all that. And, different IP holders are different when it comes to how much effort they put into it and how strict they are and stuff like that. But some of it's just decisions like that, right? And I think utilizing the render, while, obviously I like comic art more than most, it helps streamline that, right? So I thought that was actually kind of a very practical thing to do. Which I think when it comes to Kickstarter campaign games, right, crowdfunded board games, I think maybe we need a bit more practicality when it comes to reusing tokens, when it comes to, reusing components entirely or being intuitive about it, right? In retail, I think you see that often where it's like, they reused the game box to be this, and they reused this to do that, and with the crowdfunding, we almost want a separate thing for each one, which I don't feel is quite right. Okay, so we got some minis here. Let's go ahead and save those for when I look at the rest of the minis. So I just opened that up and talked through it, but you will see that I'll just do all the minis all at once. I think that makes a lot of sense there. Let's see, we got the back computer files, which has player aids, the rule book. Let's go and... yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So then we have 2 more game screens here. We have the guide, and we have the adventure book. Let's get the rule book out of the way, though. Right? We've already got the core game. So let's see what this involves. This is a proper box. So I can actually kind of open it up nice. There we go. All right. Again, looks great. Fits with everything else. Very heavy, very dense. There's a lot here. Take a look at the rule book here. For the board game. Again, I don't know exactly all changes and improvements to this. They've gone from being way too loose with Conan to being way too specific with Gotham City Chronicles to I think somewhere in between, which is probably pretty good. So hopefully this is a good read. It's been a bit for me, so I don't mind rereading this. I mean, I always mind reading a rule book and that I hate reading rule books, but at the same time, I'm excited to play this. The art, the flow of this looks a lot better. They did a lot more of that. The quality of the rule book, just the book itself, is actually quite nice. I do appreciate that. You do have a mission booklet here with a whole bunch of missions. So that's exciting to see. That's super cool. Then they have a skills and traits little booklet that you can quickly look up, like what the symbols are and what each one is. I have a printout I did for my Board Game Geek that has an explanation for each character sheet. So you pick the character sheet and you get the matching thing there and you just see all your stuff there. But now they have official, look at this, official ones here. Awesome. I get to replace all of those. That's actually fantastic. I love that this is a thing now. Again, the community came together and really solved that issue. And part of it was just the amount of different options, right? Like when you get a skirmish game like, Mythic Battles, it has all the explanation there on those 2 unique things, right? When it comes to something like a tabletop game like Warhammer, you print out your sheet of like rules and index cards and stuff like that. Batman kind of needed more of the latter, and that's what this is right here. So we're going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see. But here, now, you're going to see exactly everything that affects Batman. I'm sorry, I know I'm zooming in and out. It's going too much. Still pretty good cardstock. I like that. Still themed. Doesn't take up much space. The text is a little small, perhaps. But you can quickly see what Scream does, or what Untouchable does, or what a combo is versus, sacrifice versus pushing limits, right? That's awesome. Super awesome to see that. And they have, again, each version with a picture of it. I love that it's her face, so Batcow just has like a forward-looking like selfie face, which is great. This is fantastic. I love seeing this. Such a huge win for the game. And then they did the same for the bad guys as well. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is so great. Look, we got player aids here. This is exactly what we needed. Oh, man. Okay, so they did an app, even like a web app even, on their map. On their maps to like show like line of sight. And I used to use it all the time because you could just like click on a spot and it would highlight all the ones that had line of sight to, which was kind of cool to see. So here's some player aids. You just have one for the heroes, one for the villains. Very cool. Or the villain, I guess I should say. And then for each map, they have the little zones here. That's cool to see. That's cool to see. Now, again, it was actually kind of helpful in that I feel the app is still a nicer tool there, but look at that line of sight map. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the microphone. Look at that line of sight app. QR code. You scan that, you'll get to that line of sight app. Super useful, actually, because you can very quickly, they'd be like, if I was over here, could I see you over there? And you just click on there, bloop, and it'll tell you yes or no. One of the most helpful apps I've used while playing a board game. So that's nice. I like it. This is a great little box of improvements for the board game, and super welcome to have. So there's some stretch goals here, i.e. you're going to get 8 miniatures, some versus cards, tiles, hero sheets, another 2-faced metal coin in here, and a life point token. So I'm going to wait on that slightly and do this. This is the solo and cooperative mode. No minis in here. Just a buttload, 127 cards. 2 rulebooks, really just 1 in 2 different languages, and then some dice and tokens. So let's go. It's heavy. These cards, my goodness. And open it up. UPC on the outside here, so I believe that'll go away, as it did. Now there's another UPC there, so I don't know exactly how they, what the difference is there for them, but there's a difference there. I don't know what all this is either. It's like a French recycle thing of some kind, I think. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Again, art obviously looks great. It's the same as the dice tray. Inside is all black. I appreciate that as well. Now, here's the rule book. A very small rule book, but that also makes it kind of thicker. I'm okay with this. It's a lot easier to read this, and it looks like there's more than just the rules here, actually. So the rule book section of it is not actually that bad. So it's, hey, this is... I'm wondering, is this a full rules? Or is this a, hey, after you read the rule book, read this, and here's the differences? I'm not exactly sure. I think it's a little bit of both. They obviously aren't defining every single trait they're used to. But then they have the setup for the different missions here. So here's how to play this as a co-op versus that. So this is like every single mission now as, I think this is all English, so it's not even like the French version or something like that. Now playable in solo co-op in this little book here. That's actually cool. I do dig that. Yeah, so this is what made it heavy. This is the unfortunate part, is all of this is the French. So this is like all useless to me. That's kind of a bummer because there's so much of it. It makes me a little sad, but it does mean one less SKU, obviously, if they're both in there. And it's still pretty well packed. You get a little bit of tokens, not a whole lot of tokens. I appreciate that. It looks like they punch out fine. This is, I'm assuming, a recovery thing of some kind, 7 versus 9 or something like that. One little tag here, nothing too bad. And the thickness of the token, again, like, they always do a really good job, Monolith does, with this. They have a really good printer here. There's a little bit of give, but not too bad. Honestly, it feels quite nice. And very smooth. Very, very smooth covering. Same here, punches out just fine. Looks pretty much exactly what you would want it to look like. It looks like a little bit, tiny bit of give there, but nothing too bad. Overall, quite happy with that. Got some is it A dice? Did I read dice and there was just one? 1 6-sided dice, yes. So 1 normal dice. There you go. Here it is. This actually looks quite nice. So it's a little bit rounded, right? Unlike the RPG ones, which were kind of crisp, this one is rounded, so it's going to roll a lot more. Additionally, this is kind of interesting, it has like a really deep, like this is noticeable, you can feel it, but then it raises up on the number, right? So you have this ridge here, which is a little bit of a ridge. Then you have this deeper one, then you have this, or at least larger one. So you can really feel that texture, like it feels like it's been carved out. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. The paintings are really crisp again. Like that 9 looks great. Like I really appreciate, the 6 looks really good there. Yeah, all the numbers are crisp. This is actually, I really like this die. Like I really do. Something about it. That's actually my favorite die, I think, so far. I like the texture and all that. Now here, got a whole bunch of these. I actually don't have a lot of desire to take these out right now, just because I don't feel like I'd have enough to really say about them. If you're curious about the tarot-sized cards, which is what these are, check out the RPG unboxing. Again, I'll link to that as soon as it's available, if it's not already. And you can kind of see my thoughts on them, on how big they are and thick the cardstock is and all that. But otherwise, there's just a ton of these. Like it's for everything, right? Now it does look like there is English and French. So really, it's that, right? Still a lot. Looks like there might be a little bit of a curve there, but it could just be the wrapping. And these wrappings, this is a little bit tighter. When you get it tight, sometimes it can do that. But anyway. That's all you need. You can probably actually combine this box and get rid of it. I don't think you probably need to keep this box. Though it is a cool box. Because at the end of the day, that's what you have, right? And everything else is just like that. Or maybe you can use it for something else. But either way, very cool. Okay, there's that. So again, we got the stretch goal box. We got the storage box. And then we got this big box. Let's see what's in the big box. I like that they list everything on the back. It's actually kind of helpful. So here you got some expansion books, some hero sheets, some cards, campaign boards, mystery boxes, a poster, tiles, boards, and miniatures. My goodness, let's open this up. That sounds exciting. I like all those things. Mystery boxes. Heck yeah, what the heck? We got mystery boxes here? I felt like I just cut the board. I didn't like how that felt. Supposed to cut in between, but I'm not sure that I just did that. Not super confident there. Okay. Good plastic. I mean, this is even thick plastic. This is nice. Not the thickest I've had. Still pretty good. And I actually think it's cool that it's vertical like that. I think that's awesome. That's like super cool. My camera's detecting her face. Nobody else's, but hers. Hers is like, oh yeah, hey, that's a person's face. I'm gonna focus on that. Do not open. Oh, I want to open these. If I do, which I probably will for you guys, it'll be clearly marked. So don't fret. You'll be fine. But if you're just letting this roll or whatever, well, you're not really paying attention anyway. Then this happened last time I feel too, where like they had the spot for it and it just didn't matter. Same thing here, where it's like that just fell through. This is the thought that counts, I suppose, but obviously didn't work out. That being said, it filled the space nice. It's kind of an interesting foam. It feels weird when you squish it, but it seems to bounce back pretty good. So that's nice. Good foam, I would say, for shipping. Now that does mean, obviously I do have this space for once it ships, right? Like, do I just leave it like that and jostles around? Well, no, hopefully we store it a bit nicer, but there's not really a storage solution here otherwise, besides for the minis. Everything else is just kind of loose. These purple cubes are nice looking. Very cool. Getting some more cards there. Again, I mean, they're the same as the other cards, so I'm not interested in repeating too much information there. These are a little different. What's going on here? And again, now, like I'm going to keep this for now, but now this is loose, right? Let's put it somewhere else. Zoom in a little bit as I'm taking stuff out now. So, I'm not sure exactly what's this, some kind of recruitment thing of some kind. But they do have a front and back to them. The front and back is this French versus English is all that is. So a special event. Let's see, these are events, permanents. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that's used, but pretty cool. Do get some more player boards here. So you got a few new characters. Not really. There we go. So you have Jace Fox Batman. You have the Red Hood Outlaws, the Ghost Maker, and Batgirl, Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Cool pose is what she's in. So look at that. This is fun. I like this. Got some dual player boards. Now, Monolith has often been doing the tray clamps that I really like. That's really loud. Tape. Really only super useful when you have a whole lot of variety. In other words, like you have a whole lot of characters like this, right, that you're slotting into a sheet versus something static like this, which, yeah, you make a dual layer and then you don't have to, futz about anything. So yeah, this looks really nice. This is kind of cool. Very thick, right? This is like 2 full boards is what this is. Everything looks like it is centered, right? So a lot of times you'll see this off-centered. And I'm not seeing anything super overt. I think somewhat it is. Yeah, I think the more almost... Yeah, so like this 10, for instance, right? So if I'm going to hold this up instead of zooming in. But as you can see, the 10 is in the bottom right corner. You can see it makes contact here, almost here. And there's all this space on the outside of it. This happens all the time. Even though it's cut the same, they're not quite perfectly aligned. So you when it's really fine, detail stuff like this, you do get a little bit of that off center. A lot. This, very common, but it is a bummer when that happens. So I just call it out. This again, very, very thick. 2 complete boards. Often you don't. You get like the skinnier ones. And not only that, but this is the kind that it's like, and you can see the glue here actually kind of peeled a little bit. But oh yeah, see, it's actually kind of separating a little bit there. But on this side, I can show it maybe a little bit better. So there's layers here, but they've been kind of glued together, even on the outside, so it's kind of smooth. And then you have this kind of harder outside, and you can see the difference in the layers here, if it'll focus. There you go. So you can see how you see the layers there. So the top and bottom of these have this kind of extra, like almost cardstock feel to it. Very nice. Get another one here for victory points on this side. Very cool. And you get a little tray here that looks like it fits different things, or maybe it, oh, this is, yeah, maybe it just goes, yeah, right like that. Look at that. That's fun. So this goes like that. Maybe this, I don't know, goes like that. I don't know what's going on, right? And then this, maybe, I'm not exactly sure how it fits, but obviously they're doing something here, right? I imagine this is English and French. Yeah, there's French, there's English, flipped this way. Okay. So there you go. Very cool looking. Different, options there and stuff. So either way, we did a pretty good job on that. That's fun. Put it over here for now. Okay. Here is our poster. Now their poster that they're doing here is kind of like what we saw in the RPG, where it's this really nice cardstock. Now it is bent in the middle, but it actually folds out pretty good. I think you can flatten it pretty well. And it doesn't create a white line, which is nice. So it actually does pretty well, I feel. Here's all of the new characters they have here. At least a lot of them. And then we even have Wolverine as an archer here, which is nice. It's even signed there as well. I mean, not signed, but you can tell that the artist actually put it together. Very good. Very nice. I love it. Looks great. Okay. There's the poster. Again, we'll get to these later. In here we have more taped but otherwise easy open books. Again, one's going to be in French, one's going to be in English. So there's the French one. We're going to put this, wait. No, they look the same on there. I'm going to have to open them up. French one. And English. Okay, so quite a bit here, right? This is a lot. Now, some of it is, here's how to, put the campaign boards together. So you can see how that works now, right? So that's kind of nice. So you can actually track the campaign. So there's some rules here, but not a whole lot. For the most part, it's just more stuff. Now, this is a lot, and this is another thing, right? You play Conan's kind of version of this game mechanic, and you don't get all this is a lot, right? And I think that's because, obviously, now they're trying to make it interesting and dynamic. That you're fighting against, but it doesn't mean you have to remember all of that. So I found it helpful to read that out loud so everybody knows what's supposed to happen. Now the rest here, minis. So let's go ahead and dive in. I think that's what we need to do. I think it's what we need to do here. Okay, come on. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, here's the game board. And the tiles, of course. You got to activate the tiles. And some more tokens. Well, let's take that. Just can't win, can I? Come on out. Oh, there we go. Now again, I want to see a spot to store this. So, otherwise they are kind of loose. And that's something that I feel the French companies in general just struggle to do. It's the ones I get. When it comes to just offering storage, it's like a bonus. Okay, so again, these tiles are always fantastic. They feel really good. This obviously is different. It's shiny, whereas the Conan ones are matte. This is also a bit bigger, but it, again, looks great. Very obvious when they're broken versus not. You can see everything clearly there. A lot of different symbols on them, and they do have some more prominent tags, perhaps, than the Conan ones as well. But very, very good cardstock. Some of it's the thickness, some of it's just the quality. It doesn't give a lot when you try to squish it. It feels very solid. Very nice tiles there. And then, of course, again, you saw these. Here's a smaller punch out. I didn't see one that small, but as you can see, there's that. Now, it's kind of interesting, this warning here, because it almost looks like misprinted, right? Because it's like off to the side. So when you do this, the warning is not centered. Kind of interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily on purpose or not, but it is. So there's that. Everything else seems fine, so I'm assuming that's on purpose. Just kind of interesting to note. Okay, so there's the tokens. Put that over there for now. All right, we got a couple game boards here. I'm going to try and have enough room to open this out and show you. So we'll see. Okay. So these are going to be two long ones is what this is going to be. So you have this half. Zoom out. You're going to see some of the mess I'm dealing with right now. I'm like an hour and a half into unboxing, and it's just not lasting. Then you have this half. Or this half. Or maybe it's not a half at all. These are just long. Okay, well that's kind of cool. I dig that. So these are just longer, skinnier locations. So you have this one, right? I think maybe one of them you can combine. And then you have this one here, which is pretty cool. Then, again, I love the lighting, love the depth. Coloration's good. The symbols, noticeable, not too distracting. That's a hard balance to do for sure. And you have this as well. So quite a few. Again, I like the kind of the long style. It's a little bit different. I appreciate it. I appreciate different. We're in season 3 now, right? You got to change it up. Okay. Minis. Now we can look at this. All right. Enough dilly-dallying. You can see what you get right here. All right. Villain and hero. As simple as that. No tray. They are not lock-in. I appreciate that. Let's take a look. About time we got to minis, right? Right? Okay, let's start with the heroes. Of course. Let's start with the heroes. I'm gonna zoom in. Yeah, I'm gonna show them to you like this, guys. No, we'll get you. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Now, again, a lot of people feel that the blue ones don't have as much detail, having painted both. That it's the same detail. The problem is with any color change, especially when they're this big or small, I should say, it can be hard to see the detail because the detail is like there's a texture here, but it's hard to necessarily see that unless you're really looking. And the color will change that a lot. It'll change how the light washes over it, right? Like if I put my hand here, I create a shadow. But if my hand is this big and my light source is that big, it creates almost no shadow, right? So it kind of washes over it, so giving that contrast and depth. A lot of painting minis is faking shadows, right? Because of this, right? Because our light sources are just so much bigger than what we're looking at. This looks really, really good. Really, really good. Again, I love the texture on the capes. You can see where the plastic runner is there. But again, I don't feel it. I just see it. And that's because you see this little bit of shininess. It's because this is an ABS PVC mix, I imagine. which helps with detail, helps with, and that's why it's like not super givey like PVC would be. And that gives it its slight shine that ABS does. It's a little bit higher quality plastic. But it'll also show white where you clip it. And I think that's what we're seeing here. But I don't feel maybe slightly. It's very slight. Either way, you could definitely trim it up if you need to, or you could almost leave it. And I think it'd still paint up fine. Assembly looks really good. The base is obviously super cool. I'm not seeing any warpness on this. That's been a problem in the past with some of their minis, so it's good to see no warp on there. This seemed to print really good. Texture on here looks nice. I appreciate the texture. Again, the assembly I think works well. When you paint it, you won't notice that line at all. It's natural kind of joint shadow stuff. Fingers look good. The face, obviously it's masked, but it still looks pretty neat. Yeah, overall very good. I'm not really even seeing any like mold lines going crazy like that. All right, now we have this one. Again, straight sword, appreciate that. It doesn't quite come to the point I would like it to, but that's okay. The base is nice. I love that they did incorporate something like this, so to kind of give it more of a dynamic pose, that's definitely appreciated. Yeah, again, the assembly here to have this all open, very, very nice. They did a good job here. Right, the sleeves, the jacket isn't too thick or anything like that. And again, the bases seem to have been fixed from what I can see so far, which is nice. All right, next up, we have this guy here. Very, very cool. Very smart to keep it kind of flat like that. So again, you can kind of print it a little bit cheaper, but still assembling it where it matters to get that nice crisp difference between the arms. So it's not like melting into his cape. And in fact, this whole section here with the cape just looks great. Gonna love that separation there. Having it be an actual separate piece really, really does help on that. Looks great. The cape itself, again, came out really, really good, I feel. Just, again, it's going to take a wash so well. It's going to look so good. The basing's good, again, with the dynamic poses. I think they've been improving that. Looks really nice. And then this one, which, again, one of my favorites. It's just such a cool cape, right? Such a cool design. It's going to look so cool painted. I love the smoke, too. That's going to look great. And, of course, she's, like, dynamic on there and separate. Assembled very well. Right, got all of her like gadgets sticking out here. It looks kind of silly there, but it's because they're raising up from falling, right? Just looks super cool. The arms are nice, still separated, even though they are molded onto it. I think that looks good. The cape, is fairly thick, thicker than I would necessarily like, but needed. That being said, it's very, very solid, and it comes to a fair point, so it's not really fat at the end, which I think helps sell it so it doesn't look as thick as it actually is. They did a great job in this mini. This is a fantastic sculpt, a fantastic board game piece. Really, really like it. I think the only bummer is there's actually not much detail on the base itself. So the base is a little plain comparatively, but otherwise super cool. Okay, we got penguins. Here's your penguin. Love it. Fantastic. 10 out of 10 mini. Need more penguin. So here's with the iceberg lounge penguins, right? They got the rocket. I like the little divot in there. A little bit of a mold line, but nothing too bad there. Yeah, there's not a lot to complain. It's awesome. The base fits for what it is, right? It should be kind of icy. It does have what looks to almost be a forward-facing arrow, but I think that's not supposed to be there. It happens to be positioned to a point where I want to say it is, but it doesn't make any sense for the board game. Another great mini. Dear Lord, they have upped their game a lot. So obviously, there's a lot to talk about here, right? The base, flat again, did a great job. The character, all the way back here, and yet it's still going all the way off there. Very dynamic pose, huge dynamic pose, but connected here in an intelligent way, so she's not like too far out there when it comes to being like wobbly or bendy or something when you pick her up, right? The hair being separate, fantastic. Her cape isn't too thick, so very good there. Her thumb is very defined. Even her fingers look great. Facial features are there. My goodness, clothing is crisp. The smoke looks awesome. Look at this grate. Look how good that looks. That is fantastic. Look at that. What a great looking mini. There's, I love the little like arrow coming out of here, the knife or whatever it is she's throwing. Just, man, that's a good mini. Fantastic. There's no one here. I'm gonna have to zoom in. Some of these characters are a little small. Not too much. I want to stay in frame. Again, the fingers look good. This hand seems kind of big to me. A little bit bigger than this one, perhaps. Maybe that's just me. I'm not quite sure. Again, the clothing looks great. The cape isn't too thick. Still appreciate that. The shoe looks good. Even the like wrap on the sword, super detailed. The hair, fantastic looking hair. Really good strands of hair there. The bow here looks great. Just look at the like wrinkles in the sleeve. Monolith is like knocking it out with these minis. Really exciting looking minis. Okay, we got 4 of these. We have 4 of the penguins as well. So we got 4 of these. Again, the rope, nicely textured. I love the bound rope here. I think it's done extremely smartly. Yeah, the assembly on this is good. Texture on the base is, fine. I would like a little bit more depth to the texture always, but that's just to help with painting more than anything. Again, the assembly is really good. The hood, having it go in like that so her face looks inside the hood. Again, fantastic. That looks good. But that this is separate but still connected here. It's very rigid, very good plastic. Very happy with that. And then the only other one, we got 4 of these guys as well. A little bit of a bigger mini, but I'll still keep it in camera as best I can without adjusting it too much. Huge amount of texture here. Great texture on the skin, the ears, the hair, the facial feature there, the freaking nasty, like long leg thing he's got going on here is just disgusting looking is what it is. It looks like an arm reaching out of an arm, or an arm reaching out of a leg. That's just gross. The wood here, though, again, really impressed. Look at the lines on that for the separation of the planks. That is freaking good. Great stuff. A little bit of meltiness there as it connects. A little bit. Yeah, I'm, again, very happy. Again, the texture, guys. Again, assembly, very nice, too. Just great minis. All right, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stretch goals. Actually, before that, we'll take a look at these 2. So let's go and do that real quick. Here's Batman That Laughs. And again, finally, I believe, hopefully storage includes these as well. Otherwise, I'm still stuck with these little things. No, I'll put them in something. So it comes with the card and the token there. It is going to be taped, of course, God forbid. I hate tape on these things. It's like in a box with a locking lid. Like, what do you need the tape for? Just to bother me. It was easy enough to get out, though. I just complain a lot. Okay. Here's Batman Who Laughs. Really happy to see this. It's such a well-loved character. Such a hardcore bad guy. The texture on this base seems to be a little bit better. Otherwise, a little bit of a runner there. Coat looks good. Again, like the sleeves here are really good. The smile is defined really well. That's important for the character, I feel. Same with like the big boots and stuff like that. Yeah, fingers look good. It's a good mini. I like it. And fun pose. We got that. I'll leave them separate. Why not? And we have this one as well. So here's Anarchy. Which wasn't he in the last Arkham game, Arkham Knight? I think they did add Anarchy. Was it Arkham Knight or Arkham City that Anarchy was in? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played those. You play them again. All right. So again, cape a little bit thicker than I would like, but it always comes to a point, so it looks better than like it actually is. If it just like a lot of people don't taper it like that, and it just adds a whole lot. The hat here, fantastic as well. The rim, not too thick. The facial expressions, awesome. Fingers are still defined even on the wrapping. That can sometimes blend in, but looks good. The staff, actually quite good, all things considered. The fist here, again, all of this separate from the cape looks good because the assembly's nice. There's a classic A symbol he has. Yeah, great, powerful, fun mini. And again, I like that it's offset there like that. Just a good pose. Okay, now let's look at the stretch goals. Whew, stretch goals I could barely reach. All right, I pre-cut this as it was in the stack. I just nipped it real quick so I could open it. See, I'm getting smarter at these. Okay. All better up. And look at that, more minis. And underneath that, the supporting stuff you need. So here's the exact same coin as I got with the RPG stuff. So there's a little bit of repeats there. This is so easy. It's literally coming out of there. But you get the cards and the tokens and everything else you need right there. Really what I'm after though is this. And notice, again, because of this mini, that's why it's so tall. Otherwise, there's no other reason for it to be that tall. This is where you can normally save space by combining these minis into something else. A different box, right? Just because of that. Otherwise, it's way bigger than you see. And again, I don't understand the tape, but whatever. Whatever. Okay, start with puppies. Gotta start with Ace the dog. Gotta zoom in so you can see Ace the dog. There he is. Okay. Again, using this for dynamic sculpting. I love that. So the pose is unique. The hair is fantastic. It's not just some like brushed on texture. It's sculpted texture. And I really like that. I think that's an important difference. The satchels here look great. Yeah, his whole like harness thing looks good. Great pose. Paws look good. Assembly is good. Tail's nice. It's attached here, but it looks very separate. Eyes look good. Nostrils. Everything you want on a dog. Nostrils included. Here's the fun mini here. Again, love the differences in capes. Because even though it's like not like realistic, it matches the art that you would see for these characters. And I really do appreciate that. The hands look super scary. Love the like spike shoulder pads. This is an over-the-top mini. Over-the-top character. Very, very cool. Love all the muscle that it's showing, right? Like just a cool pose. Yeah, just awesome. And again, using the sculpted base to just add a little bit of difference, not just standing flat. Okay, you get 4 of these. These this is for like the Batman Who Laughs. These are the different Robins. He normally has like a leashed up. There's a leash there, as you can see. The ears are looking great. Hair looks great. Clothes look great. The hands are overly large again, which I think fits for these because it looks like some big, kind of almost clown-like glove. But the hands are a little bit large, right? I mean, if you compare it to like, here, we'll do this mini next, but if you see the difference in hand size, like, it's actually kind of noticeable. All right, here's another character here. Again, unique books. Yeah, that is books. Now, the one thing that I often don't necessarily like, to me, it's just super noticeable, but they're printed like more or less flat on a plane, right? Like this, right? So there's nothing here, nothing here. It's all there. And that's to help with the mold, right? As it goes there, and then boom, you got a mini, right? So it helps keep costs down. But often what they'll do is when they add texture in that same line. So it's literally underneath them and then to the left and right of their feet. And that's exactly what you see here, right? And it's just a little too purposeful to me, right? If this book was out here, even just that book moved would make such a huge difference to me. Instead of this kind of line that they have. Now they have a little bit over here and stuff like that, but I'm not generally a fan of again, nitpicking, I get it, but I'm glad there's stuff on the base. That's awesome. But when it's like just perfectly aligned with the mini, I feel that's a little noticeable. The mini itself, the chains look good. They're well detailed. They're not trying to put any holes between the links, and I think that's a smart idea. Facial features, as you can see, well defined there. The mold line is a little noticeable, often the case with bald characters, but nothing too bad. The line on the suit here looks fantastic, by the way. All the wrinkles look like they'll take stuff really well. And then we have one more here. Now this is a fun one. This just looks great. I love pretty much everything about this. The base looks awesome. The dynamic pose is great, right? The hands look great. The hair looks fantastic. Mask looks good. Clothing looks good. The trident is amazing, though it is bent, right? That should be like that. So there's a little bit of bend there. Again, that might be all I need to do. Otherwise, I can do the hot water treatment a little bit. The like tentacle with the suction cups, fantastic. Yeah, this is just a cool mini. Really appreciate it. Very, very unique. And that's it for stretch goals. So the only thing we have left are the secret boxes and the storage. I'm going to go ahead and do the storage. I'll do the secret boxes. Yeah, I'll do the secret boxes last. So let's take a look at the storage. In one of these corners, I believe, yeah, right here. I opened it up a little bit. We're going to open this up to a wider view as well. Okay. Now, I do have the camera a little bit closer, so I might need to adjust it to really show you the box. I might just be able to move it around. I'll make that judgment call. We'll see. I think this is as zoomed out as I can get it, but the camera itself is a little closer now. I think that might end up being a little bit of a problem. Just like I'm having trouble unboxing it. Okay, all right, yep. So we're gonna adjust this up a little bit. Sorry for any motion sickness. Probably won't edit that out. Okay. I like the look of it. Okay. Oh, perfect. Look at that. So they even show, again, exactly what you're going to put there, right? You put both red rabbits, all the ghost dragons, right? Stuff like that. And then on the other side, you have these other ones here. So it looks like it doesn't... Oh, yeah. See, here's Batman Who Laughs and the Anarchy right there. So these will go in there. That's fantastic. Happy to see it. I think that's awesome. I got them right here. Let's see. Tray, nice and black. I don't see like there's any lock lid on it. So just as an FYI there. So let's see. He goes in. I'm assuming like that. That the upside down. That how it goes? How does? Do I have maybe this is upside down? Yes, it is. Well, nobody's perfect. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, now this would go like this. So there's my first right there. So we do have tiles and cards and tokens that match the characters here in this, which is nice to see. There's a whole nother tray there. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Perfect. That's the storage tray, guys. Very happy to have that. I mean, like, really, I am. That it was super needed and will definitely help out a lot. But it's not like some master box that stores everything either. It's just these the ones that were loose like this, right? Okay, so I'm about to open these. You don't have to go off yet if you don't want to spoil this. I'll announce when that's the case. I just wanted to say, guys, thank you. This is obviously a lot of work to unbox things and critique the components to this level. It's pretty much a component review, as you guys know. I do appreciate it, and I think it makes a lot of sense, both so you see the quality of what you're getting because this stuff is expensive, guys, right? We're spending a lot of money on this stuff. But on top of that, it helps the developers, the creators as well, to really get a good sense of what's important. Now, this is obviously after the fact, right? So you can only kind of learn from it. So I have tried to help as I can developers for stuff like this, right? But it's nice to keep the consumer viewpoint in mind. At the end of the day, this is my first interaction with this, And now that it's been such a nice interaction, I'm excited to play the game instead of frustrated. So that's really cool. Except for these tuck boxes. Dear God Almighty, I hate tuck boxes. All right. Now, that said, thank you guys for watching. Of course, if you're going to skip off this video from this part, be sure to subscribe for follow-up content as well. Leave a like if you did appreciate the video. Comment if you have any comments about it, or just want to let me know about something. But yeah, otherwise we're going to dive into this. So interesting enough, the mystery boxes do tell you kind of what you're going to get. 1 miniature here with some stuff. What's this? 5 miniatures here with some stuff. Now, they are in A and B, so we're going to do A first and then B. But it's kind of interesting. They both have versus power card, life point token, and a character tile. So the only difference is this has more minis in it, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Now, imagine this has to do with the campaign, right? So that's my assumption here. But, oh, that's fun. That's fun. So here's the designer, right? So you have the designer and riders. And they are going to be so fun to paint, guys. That is awesome. Go on and take a look. We'll look at the fun one. And here's the designer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I don't recall this even being announced on, I think this is just like bonus stuff, which is really kind of cool. The fur, fantastic. It's going to look great painted. Really, really good. Love that. And done in a smart sculpt way. The sword, fantastic as well. Looks awesome. Very defining. Same with the like pauldrons he's got going on here. The cape, again, quite thick. Comes to a decent enough point, but it actually feels a little bit thicker than normal. It doesn't quite come as to an obvious point, so it almost looks like it's that thick. But overall, good. This is nice and crisp. Sometimes the feet kind of blend in here when they just do it like that, but it came out good. This chain here, these chains and necklaces look fantastic. Really cool mini. I like that one a lot. And again, that cape too. They do cape so good, guys. And we have these riders with the mask on of the Joker, looking fantastic. And it's got that grate here, which just looks so good. And there's actually a little bit of wobble here. This is probably the first one I noticed that has that little bit of wobble. As you can see, a little bit of bent base there. Again, unfortunate. I don't know if in the printing process they're just doing it too quickly and gluing that in and it kind of snaps it up or what. I'm assuming it's when it inserts this into here, right? But I'm not exactly sure because I don't know. I don't know the process on that and what's causing it. The jacket zipper looks great. The shirt underneath, fantastic, even with the symbol. Very good detail level there. The hair is fun, of course. Yeah, just awesome. You get 4 of those. So that's in that one. So 5, but 2 different sculpts, which I think is important. Then we have this one. This has the 1 mini. Again, you won't be able to hide that you open this. I hate. Have I ever told you I hate tuck boxes? I hate tuck boxes. They're frustrating. I'm bothered by them. It's like taking a nice crisp dollar bill and then just like wrapping it and destroying it because you need to be able to count the money. And they were just like, oh, it was so straight and perfect, and now it's this garbage. All right. Anyway, here's this one. This is Leviathan. That's a cybernetic eye. Very fun. Very fun. Okay. So again, this actually first time I've really felt that the cape looks thick, right? Now again, not from here. From here it looks great, but on this side, like from the bottom, it does look a little silly thick, right? Like that'd be super heavy, obviously. But from the side, from the top, this is how you're going to view the character, right? If you're playing the game, you're at just about eye level with me. So this is how I see the mini too. I think it looks great, right? But it would have been nice. Anytime it's lifted up like that, you do have the chance of seeing that a little bit more. The basing is super like textured base. I really like that. The layers here look really good. The fists look good. These crisp lines, again, very crisp, very nice. Again, the mask and face within the hood looks actually like it's inside of the hood, which I appreciate. I always think that effect looks good. Even like around like the shoulders here, that design looks good. Just a cool looking mini. I like them. Very cool. There's your spoilers. All right. So look, I've been unboxing this for a while now, and I must say, as much as I complained about tuck boxes, this has been a lot of fun, guys. It really has been. Great art, really good components For the most part, again, a few things where it's like, oh, the base is bent a little bit, but nothing major there. For how much I go through, when you deliver a whole bunch, you have a higher and higher risk of a misprint or something not quite being right. For the most part, like the base thing, right? For the most part, this was just solid. Just a solid group of stuff. The RPG, the board game. Had a lot of fun. Guys, if you have any feedback, any comments, any questions, anything you want me to take a look at or know, please share them down below. Of course, like the video if you did enjoy it. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.